All right. It is Friday night, guys. And you know what that time it is? It is Rick time. I am Rick and Flip with Rick. And today we are going to talk all about creative financing. So, full disclosure, we are a wholesaling channel, but I'm here to tell you we do lots of creative finance deals. Um, I've been doing I've been doing real estate in general for 20 years now. And we talk so much about wholesaling, and I'm always going to answer all your questions on wholesaling. But I'm telling you guys, I love creative financing. And I'm here to tell you, I'm going to show you how you build it in your current wholesaling business structure. You don't have to go out and do something completely different. Guys, that is the beauty of real estate investing. Now, I always tell you, wholesaling is the foundation to get started and make cash quickly and limit your risk. And I recommend everybody start out doing it that way. So we are going to dedicate, hopefully, the next 2 hours to creative financing. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to go through a presentation on how you can integrate and make $300K passive income in creative financing. Guys, I do this all the time. It's actually pretty easy, but I'm here to tell you, you do not want to stop wholesaling and just go do creative financing. The idea is to put them together and figure it out. Yes, this is recorded. Somebody's asking me on it. So I am going to do the masterminds, the one-on-one. You can call it coaching. It's absolutely free. Everything we do here is 100% free. I just ask as a fee, you guys smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share this feed with as many people as possible and let them know what we're trying to do. We want to make wholesaling, creative financing, everything completely transparent, make it free. Guys, there is no reason you should be paying for all these ridiculous fees. I'm here to tell you, I can get you started. I've already proven it. If hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of you that are on the stream have already done deals. So today we're going to sharpen your axe and show you how to integrate creative financing. So I'm going to take about 20, 30 minutes and I'm going to walk you through it. Now, you don't have to take notes. The whole thing is recorded for you. So I'm not going to take it down. You can go on our YouTube channel, Flip with Rick. You go to Rick Ginn's channel. You go to Zach Ginn's channel. It doesn't matter. We want you to be able to connect with the information. So all I ask when we do the questions is I want to answer as many creative financing questions today. So if you're brand new to creative financing, you're in the perfect spot. So if you want to jump on the one-on-one live, and guys, it is live. It is Friday, the 29th at 5:03 p.m. Eastern time. Just click the link in the comment section. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook group, Wholesaling Houses for Real, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Flip with Rick, Rick Ginn, or Zach Ginn. I do all three because we kind of do different things on all the channels, and that gets you the one-on-one. And guys, the reason we do and bring you on camera is because if you have a question, there's hundreds, if not thousands of other people have the exact same question, and we want to help out as many people as possible. So guys, smash that like button. Give me some love here. Hit that subscribe button. We go live 3-4 times a week right now, and we're here to help out as many people as possible. Before we get into it, you know where I'm going with this, man. Like, I got to wake you guys up. If you're just getting off of work or you're trying, and you're just tired of your job and you are looking for change in your life, look no further. You're in the right place. But here's the key. If I'm going to be on 2 hours, we got to make this fun, man. Like, I just like to have fun when we do stuff. People are so serious about everything. Yes, I want to teach you wholesaling. I want to teach you creative financing, but you got to have fun in life. I find most of these shows, I watch a lot of people's content. You got to have fun. People are like, stop taking yourself so seriously. I'm a grown man stuck in a child's mind in a way. I just like to have fun. Guys, if you're not having fun, do not do real estate because I do not want you to get bored with it. So wake up, guys. Put some energy in it. Let me show you the type of energy you need.
fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and then they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
Guys, that's what you need to live your wholesaling mantra by. Guys, I'm here to tell you, you only get one shot in this life. You got to make it count. So if you found this channel, God bless you. You're in the right place. I've been doing real estate for 20 years. I specialize in wholesaling, creative financing, you name it. I've done it, and I'm here to break it down and simplify it. And the best part of it is you don't need to pull out your credit card. I do not have a coaching program to sell you. And yes, I do one-on-ones live. So if you want to join us one-on-one after I do the presentation on creative financing, go ahead and hop on out. I take it first come, first serve. I promise you I'll be gentle. And I'm going to add one other thing. I want to get some people that have never been on here before. And I want to reward you for taking the action because listen, I get it. Going on camera is intimidating. Okay. But here's the best part is you don't have to put your face on there. So you can connect with me. If you're brand new to this business and you have a question like, how do I get started? I'll take your questions too. Guys, I want to help out as many people as possible. If you're working on a creative financing deal, let's talk. Connect with me, guys. I'm not charging you anything. It's absolutely free. So take advantage of it. I'm here for 2 hours. Get in line, get on there. I see you when you hop on. I'll give you a little heads up before you go on. And guys, I'm here to help. So let's get started. I think we got enough people to get going here. Let me jump on. Actually, let's see. I got to pull this thing on here. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see it. So we're going to talk about how to make $300K passively. I'm talking about $300K a year passively in creative financing. Guys, this is already built in my business. It's actually, I don't even really talk about it much just because it's part of my wholesaling business. And this is, once I figured this out, I made it part of my mantra, meaning it was just built in my business. So many of you guys ask me questions like, Rick, do I have to do creative financing first or should I do wholesaling? So on that note, I'm here to tell you, if you are new to real estate in general and you wanted to get into real estate investing, wholesaling is the absolute best avenue for you to get started. Hands down, there's never a debate about that. I've never met anyone that's really, really good as a real estate investor that did not start in some factor in wholesaling. Now, a lot of people say, well, you know, I'm going to do creative financing because it looks easier. Well, I'm here to tell you, it won't be easier because if you're going to do creative financing because you think wholesaling is too hard and it's saturated, it doesn't work that way. I'm just here to tell you, I see so many ads running and so many programs out there saying, are you tired of saturated wholesale markets? Guys, first of all, they're saturating the creative marketing just as much. And number two, most of these programs, you guys are going in the negative cash flow, meaning you're putting out money and you're not actually making a profit. The key to creative financing is you have to be patient. And I want to show you today how you make money from day one. I do not give somebody 30, 50K and hope 5 years down the road, I make some money. That is what we call negative cash flow. And I just don't, if I did it that way, I would have thousands of properties. So I don't want to go out and borrow a bunch of money. The whole purpose of creative financing is really to pull little to no money out of your pocket. If you have to go get a soft money loan, a hard money loan, a loan from your parents or something like that, you're really not doing creative financing, in my opinion. You're putting yourself at risk. And honestly, if you're brand new to creative financing, you've never done a deal before, I prefer you start in wholesaling. Hands down, I'm telling you guys, it is the way to get started in real estate. So there's a big movement of people saying, hey, let's do creative financing first. There's no shortcuts. You're not taking a shortcut. It's not going to work. So let's get to the point. Let me share with you. Put your questions in the comments and I will answer them as well. And the sooner you put in the question, the more I guarantee I will answer the question. So let's jump into it. We're talking about creative financing today. By the way, for those of you, I don't really talk about creative financing a lot just because it's part of my business. I absolutely love creative financing because it allows you to take your brain and solve a problem that nobody else has been able to solve. And that's why creative financing, honestly, creative financing fits my personality very well, but I never force it. So before I get in the slide, understand this. You cannot ever under any circumstances force a seller to take creative financing. Actually, it's the opposite. The creative financing has to be the one solution that will fix their problem and nobody else can offer it. Now, the really cool thing about creative financing is everything's negotiable. I mean, everything: price, terms, interest rate, anything. And that's why I love it. So let's get, I see you guys' questions popping in there and see if there's anything I can answer before I get started. Welcome to the channel. My name is Rick. I'm also known as Dad. I am the Rick and Flip with Rick. You guys know my son, Zach Ginn. At 17, I taught him while he was in high school, wrestling on his high school wrestling team, how to flip properties and wholesaling and make $100K in 90 days. And why not share it with you guys? So full disclosure, I used to sell multiple simple marketing courses back in the early 2010 to 13 area. And I got out of it because I just saw a shift going on in coaching, and you guys kind of see it going on now. And I'm going the complete opposite direction. I want to help out as many people as possible. Guys, the world has changed. There's so much information available on the internet. You just have to go to a trusted source. And I'm here to tell you, I hope you choose me and Zach. It's your choice. You guys vote with your pocketbook and you vote with your time. If you want to spend 2 hours with me, I'll show you how to get this done. So let's get into it. Creative financing, 300K. And I'm telling you guys, this is not even hard to do. Okay. I've already taken this down this year alone, and I'm adding to my portfolio to do with it right now. So creative financing. The key here is you want to harvest your current wholesaling marketing system to locate creative financing deals. Meaning, I don't want you to go out and change your list, change your marketing plan, change your pitch to anybody. I'm here to tell you creative financing is really just a leg of wholesaling. Okay. Guys, think about this. When you do a wholesale deal, you're offering cash. And if the deal works and you need to get that paycheck, that profit, that flip on it, then take it. Guys, for the first 2 years, I wholesaled everything. I never tried to retail anything. I did everything via assignment. Most of them were $100. I did $10 deposits, and I built my wealth muscle up. It took me a long time to do it, but I did it. And I'm here to tell you, I learned creative financing while I was doing wholesaling. I didn't go out and do an entire separate creative financing marketing plan. So I want you to work within your current wholesaling marketing plan. All you need to do is learn to identify the opportunities of creative financing deals within your wholesale business. So many people think you got to go out and reinvent the wheel to do creative financing. You don't. All you need to do right now is identify the opportunity. And I'm going to walk you through today. I'm going to show you the different techniques we use to find creative financing deals. And I promise you, at the end of this presentation, you'll have enough information to identify them. Now, you learn as you go. You're better off finding a great deal because that's where the money is. Finding the mechanics how to take it down, honestly, it's kind of rudimentary. So just like when you do wholesaling for the first time, it's like I tell everyone, go find the deal, do the marketing. I give you all the tools. And guys, if you want to learn all the tools we do, there it is. If you're new to the channel, go to freewholesaling.com. Me and Zach share 25 years of experience. My son's 22. He does phenomenal in this business. He loves this business. I've been doing this business 20 years. I'm not going anywhere. So if you're like, oh, is Rick and Zach going to be around? Well, first of all, he's a lot younger than I am. And number two, I'm probably never, ever going to stop wholesaling creative financing because I just love this business. I'm very passionate about it and I really, really enjoy it. So you only retire from something you really hate doing. I don't hate doing this. I've been doing this 20 years. I'm just excited as the day I discovered wholesaling. And I found it out by accident. And I'd love to hear in the comments how you guys discovered finding me and Zach or wholesaling in general and what kind of motivated you to do that. So let's keep going through our presentation. So if you have a wholesaling deal, it's simple as this, guys. You made a cash offer. It's not going to work. Maybe they owe too much on the property. Maybe they don't want to sell it for that price, but they still want to sell it. The key is if they truly want to sell the property and you've gone down every avenue in wholesaling and you just can't make the numbers stick, it's simple. You are now going to take off your wholesaler cap. I meant to wear a cap today. So hopefully you guys like the background there. I don't know who did it. I think Zach did it. He's really good with that stuff. And you are going to switch your hat and put on your creative financing hat. And the creative financing hat just requires you to think outside the box. So many people think in creative financing, you can't think like a wholesaler. And I'm here to tell you, always go in wholesaling first, identify the opportunities. If it's just not going to fit traditionally because they owe too much, or they just not going to budge on that number and you've tried circling the drain 4 or 5 times, then switch hats. That's all you do. Okay. Yes, you can be a wholesaler and do creative financing. I waited too late to do creative financing and I lost out on a ton of opportunities because honestly, I was scared and I didn't know how to do it. Now, I got 20 years under my belt. I think I know what I'm talking about here. I know how to do it. So once you switch that hat and you know your wholesale deal is dead, meaning it's just never going to work, and the house isn't. Now, I only do creative finance. I like to do creative financing deals on good houses because it just creates more opportunity for you, because I don't want to put a ton of money out on a creative financing deal. I'm the complete opposite how most people teach it. I believe you should always make money from the day you buy the property, not 5 years down the road. So, Rick, how do we transition from wholesaler to creative finance guy or gal? It's really simple. This is an old school technique. It works really well. And when everybody gets in a pinch and you don't know what to say, just simply use this one-liner. Okay. You ready? Where is it? Hey, John, are you open to a creative solution? And shut your mouth. Why am I asking that question? You're going to get 2 types of reactions on this. Now, this is a simple way, but listen, I'm talking to people who have never done a creative financing deal and you've walked them through the wholesaling process and it just doesn't fit. So you're at the end of the rope and you say, listen, John, I can't buy it cash because either you owe too much or the number's not going to work. I get it. Are you open to a creative solution? And just shut your mouth. Don't talk and wait for the response. What they say after that will dictate which way you're going to go with it. Now, the 2 ways they're going to respond is, no way. That's crazy. I don't want to do anything like that. And remember, I told you, you can't make people do a creative finance deal. I've never done it. And the people I pushed when I was much younger, I wasted a ton of time. So that deal has to fit to make it work. So you can't make it. Or the other way they're going to respond is sometimes they go, what are you talking about? And you have to expand on it a little bit. Meaning, hey, what if I bought your house and we did some sort of creative solution where you could actually sell the house without selling it like a traditional real estate property? And if they go like this, yeah, I mean, and I'm looking for, if it gets the property sold, I'm looking for keywords that goes, okay, we can move forward. Or I want to hear more about it. You have to have permission to have the conversation with them. I see so many wholesalers try to run people over with a creative financing offer. If they're not open to it, you're talking to a chunk of wood. If they're not open to it, you ever try to talk to someone and you know they're completely closed-minded about it? Do not ever try to force people to do things unless you don't have a choice to, meaning I have to save your life. But if they're not open to creative financing, move on. Like, that's it. This is the part where people get it wrong. They keep trying to shove it down their mouth, and I'm telling you, it doesn't work that way. So always, this is another rule. So guys, this is recorded. Don't worry about. Let the deal dictate the type of creative financing you're doing. And you're probably going, okay, Rick, now you lost me. No. I'm going to show you, but I'm here to tell you is the type of creative financing offer you're going to make is going to be dictated by the deal. You cannot force somebody to take a certain type of creative financing. Either the shoe fits or it doesn't. Maybe they owe too much money. Maybe they want to defer their taxes. Maybe they got an expired listing. They need to move the property fast. So what I'm going to do is share with you the different types of creative financing strategies you can offer to deals in your current wholesaling pipelines that you're missing out on it. Guys, smart investors will go pair up with other wholesalers and identify your dead leads. I promise you, you give me 25 dead leads, I can find a deal in it every time. Now, most of them aren't going to be traditional wholesaling. They're going to be creative financing. Those deals you guys are throwing away or discarding, there is a ton of potential in them. Someone just needs to have a conversation with you. I'm teaching you how to have that conversation. I'm keeping it simple so everybody can do it. The idea is you expand your education and learn how to get better with this stuff, guys. Okay, I see your comments. We're going to go through everything. Guys, if you ain't going to take me up on the one-on-one live, please. And if you're brand new to the channel and you want to have a conversation with me, you just have a brand new question, I will take you. And if you don't want to put your face on there, although I love looking at people because it's a better connection, I promise you, I won't hurt anybody. I'm very gentle, and I've been doing this 20 years, and I act like I just started yesterday when I talk to people. So we're going to let the deal dictate the type of creative financing we're going to do. So let's talk about the three basic creative financing strategies, guys. And there's more advanced strategies. I'm just teaching you the basics that covers about 90% of creative financing. So number one, a lease option. What is a lease option? It's exactly what it says it is. One's a lease. A lease is nothing more than a rental agreement. So if you ever rented a property, you get a rental agreement. There's a start and stop date, and you pay a fixed amount a month, and that's it. It's a rental. All you do is add an option agreement to it. Now, they're two separate agreements because you do not want to fuse the two together. The courts have been very clear on this. I'm not a lawyer, so guys, see a lawyer for legal advice if you're going to do these. But the option is say, okay, John, I'm going to rent your place for $1,000 a month for the next 3 years. Maybe there's a little bit of an escalation each year. And at the end of the term, I want the option to buy this house for $150,000. In exchange for that option, I'll go ahead and give you $1,000 up front, non-refundable. Now, that person has two options. Number one, at the end of the rental or anytime during that contract, they can exercise their options and buy that house for $150,000. Maybe the values went up. Maybe that person got a promotion. Maybe they invented something crazy and they're like, I'm just going to buy it. I'm not going to rent it anymore. And that's great. It works out for everyone. Option two is maybe they lose their job. Maybe the market goes way south and they walk away from the property. That's right. You can walk away from the property, but you do lose your $1,000, which would be used towards the purchase price. But the good news is it's over. They can't sue you for it. It's nothing more than an option. And that's the beauty of a lease option. So the next question you got to be is, what's the seller profile in these? They're going to be landlords, heavy rental properties, and expired listings. These types of leads that are coming through your wholesale database and they just don't work for wholesaling, a lease option is perfect. So I'm going to keep going because I want to help out as many people as I can here. So the next one is subject to. And you guys heard a lot about this. Subject to has been around forever. And if you actually look on traditional real estate contracts, they have a line on there for subject to. Now, I'm here to tell you, most real estate agents do not even understand this, do not discuss this with a real estate agent unless they're experienced in it. So a subject to is exactly what it says. I'm going to buy this property subject to the existing mortgage. And they can include other things, existing liens. It's all negotiable. So Why would anyone want to do this? Well, number one, most people who sell these types of property is they just have very, very little equity in it. So the only way to sell it, by the time they pay the 6% realtor commissions, the closing cost, and any type of, negotiations, a lot of these people would be forced to bring money to the closing table. So a subject to would bail them out of it. Now, the deal has to dictate which one you're going to do. So what types of properties would be subject to what type of leads in your current database? It's simple. The profile is going to be foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, little to no equity, usually 2 years or less ownership. And once again, expired listings is a great lead generation. I forgot to put it up there. Why? Because a lot of realtors, especially in today's market, they overlist the property, make promises to the seller. And when the property doesn't sell and they only put down 3 or 5% on the property and it costs 10 to 12% to close it, these deals are prime for it. Okay. So guys, I'm keeping this as simple as possible because I don't want to go into like hours and hours of I'm just trying to have you access your current wholesaling leads, the ones that are falling apart or not working. I've already taught you how to do the introduction. I'm going to teach you the third technique here. If you guys don't know by now, it's simply owner financing. And owner financing is literally exactly what it says. So many people talk over us on these simple explanations. They make it so complicated. And guys, these techniques have been around for over 100 years. Like, this is nothing new. Nobody created creative financing in the last 10 years. It's been around before I started. And from whoever I learned it from, it's been around long before them. So this is nothing new. It's been around forever. Owner financing is basically when somebody owns a property, they usually own it free and clear. And then they decide, hey, I'll be the bank and I'll carry the mortgage for you and you make payments to me. They're traditionally going to record a mortgage on these properties. A smart seller is going to do that. Very rarely do they not, and they should. And you should want that to protect everybody's interest in the deal. Now, seller profile on these, I already said 100% equity, which means they own it outright. They've usually owned these properties 10 or plus years. And a lot of these people are typically going to be your older sellers. So you got to take a little bit more time. And a lot of the deals I do is they just don't need the money. And guess what? Who wants to pay a big fat tax bill? Because a lot of these properties they do are not their primary homes. So I do a lot of deals that they just want to defer the taxes, but they want some income stream. Remember, everything's negotiable when you do an owner financing deal. The interest rate, the terms, how long? Is it interest only? Are you paying back principal? Who's going to pay the insurance? Obviously, you're going to have to pay the taxes and insurance typically, but owner financing deals, and typically these people want a set price and they're not going to work in your traditional wholesaling deal. And this is where you reverse engineer it. So if you know they need a set price, so say a property is selling for $200,000 on the open market and they want $215,000. This happens all the time, by the way. At $215,000 as a wholesaler, like I can't pay it. That's actually above market. So remember, guys, you get price or you get terms. If somebody gets both, it's like a unicorn. It's a unicorn with rainbows. Take it. But very rarely say, Mr. Seller, I'm going to give you a price and then you got to go to work on terms. Now, if I can pick that property and pay him like $1,000 a month and then the rental rate is $1,800 a month, I really don't care what the end price is. And that is the trick to doing creative financing on owner financing. People are like, why did they pay so much? The key is you have to minimize how much money you put out of your pocket. This is where most beginners get taken out. And this is where most people don't tell you the truth about creative financing. Positive cash flow is the key to creative financing. I don't care what anybody says. Guys, I've been doing this 20 years. I've watched people get destroyed in creative financing. In 2007, got stuck with a lot of deals that I put too much money down. I thought real estate was going to shoot through the moon, and I got caught. And I'm here to tell you, we have been on a ride for 10 years. If you do not look at positive cash flow on creative financing, you are making a mistake. Now, don't get me wrong. There's more advanced investors that have deep pockets, that have deep relations, and they have people put up the money, and then they can take the risk because honestly, it's truly not on them. It's on their investors. If you're just starting out in creative financing, you cannot. Why would you lay out $20,000 or $30,000 of your own personal money? I don't even care if you got a loan from someone. You shouldn't, because you've never done this before. You're putting yourself at risk, because how are you going to make money? Now, in 5-10 years, you go, 5-10 years when they cash out and make a ton of money. There's no guarantee. Creative financing, not everybody closes on the deal. Remember, you are the bank in essence, and sometimes banks have problems. And when the market reacts, guys, people react to real estate. You've got to understand, the more money you put on the line on creative financing, the more you're at risk. Guys, I'm talking from personal experience. I didn't just create this overnight. I bypass on a lot of creative financing deals, especially today, because I'm not comfortable leaving $30,000 or $50,000 out of my pocket for a what if scenario. Okay. Let's keep moving. I'm moving through this. So let's talk about the profit streams to get you to that 300K. So remember, I showed you how to identify them in your current wholesaling leads. I taught you how to have a basic conversation to open them up to creative financing. And then I taught you the 3 basic creative financing strategies. So now we're going to walk into, how do we get the 300K? Rick, how do I get the 300K in positive cash flow in a year? And I'm going to walk you through this, because this is the exact method I use. Okay. Guys, I'm keeping this simple on purpose to invoke you and get you excited about creative financing, because they exist. And if you're doing wholesaling, I guarantee you have deals like this in your pipeline. You're just not thinking outside the box enough. So wholesaling hat off, creative financing hat on. Okay. So number 1, the upfront cash. Whatever you give to your seller is going to be non-refundable. You're never, ever, ever going to see that money back until you resell that property. So it would behoove you to negotiate the best cash flow position for you that is acceptable to your seller. Remember, I still want a win-win situation. So let me give you a current example. If, say, you're doing a lease option, okay, and in the lease option, I'm going to give the seller $1,000 a month for the right to sublease the property back out, and I'm going to give them, say, I negotiated $5,000 down. Guys, there's got to be incentive for people to take these deals. Yes, you hear of zero financing deals, but I'm just telling you, for the most part, there's got to be some sort of incentive for them to take it. So if I offered $5,000, now I have to take in consideration, are the repairs that need to be done to the property. That's why I want you to do this on nice properties when you're new, because it minimizes your risk. In wholesaling, we're all about minimizing our risk. So say I got to put $1,000 in the property. Maybe I just got to paint the outside of the front door, just some basic maintenance work. So the rule of thumb, when you do these types of deals, you want to at least double your money. So if I'm paying $5,000, I want to collect $10,000 from my end buyer, who's ever going to option the property, but however you want to sell it, it doesn't matter. Okay. The worst thing you can do is leave them $30,000, do $10,000 in repairs, put you $40,000 in the hole, and then collect $10,000 from your new buyer. And now you're personally financing $30,000 out of your pocket for God knows how long. Guys, do not do those types of deals if you're brand new. I do deals like that, but I have much deeper pockets to do it. And I've been doing this 20 years. And there's certain types of properties I target and I want. When I started out, I only did positive cash flow. The minute I got outside of positive cash flow is when I got into problems in creative financing. Guys, learn from my experience. I'm here to tell you, you can do these types of deals, but if you're brand new, do not get in a position where you're completely upside down from day one, because you're not going to make money. And the reason you got in the wholesaling is to make your life better now and 5 and 10 years down the road. Creative financing is a much better strategy to build long-term wealth, in my opinion, but you can make money up front. So if you're putting $10,000 down, you've got to be assured you're going to get $20,000. Because what I do is I treat the difference. That's kind of like your wholesaling assignment fee. You're clear. You made money up front. And now I'm going to show you the next few techniques on that. So I prefer to do a deal where I'm at least 10K positive. I know it's a little bit tighter in today's market, but guys, things change down the road. I just don't want you to be negative. If that's the only thing you got out of this video, please take it. Negative cash flow in creative financing. It might feel good to write the contract and say, hey, I did a creative financing deal. Look. But the reality is you just went into the hole and you don't know the final outcome and you're brand new to this. That is the worst case scenario. And I want you to avoid that, guys. Don't go out and borrow money to do that. Don't borrow money to do these like high-end courses. I'm just telling you, got to have conversations. If the property needs a ton of rehab, they want 20, 30 grand up front. That's not going to fit what you want to do unless they become more reasonable. Okay. Number two, now we talk about cash flow. That's the difference in what you pay the seller a month and what you get back from your end buyer. Now, the rule of thumb is I've never, ever, ever taken a deal that goes below $300 spread. Why? Number one, you can have vacancies. You can have all sorts of stuff that happens. You can have stuff that just doesn't work on the house. I get it. The end buyer should be paying for all this stuff, but the reality is not all of them do. Maybe they skip the tax bill and you have to pay it. Maybe like they let the insurance lap, you have to pay it. Guys, there's so many things that come out of the spread. If the spread's too small, you put yourself at risk. I talked to someone the other day that like, it's got like $150 difference. This should be good. No, it's not. I'm just telling you, it's too narrow of a margin. I try to shoot for $500 to $600 minimum. I have deals currently now that are paying me $1,500 spreads, but they didn't start out at that, but they always started out at 300 plus. Guys, take that rule. So say I did a creative deal for 5 years, and I took the average on it, it would probably bring you about an extra 20K over the 5 year of that creative financing deal. Okay, my next one, which probably, well, this is my second favorite way to make money, and I used to share this a long time ago, back in 2008 to 10, and it's called interest arbitrage. And arbitrage is nothing more than making a profit on the difference between a number. So if you took over a property, say subject to, and they had one of these great 3% loans, which guys, these things are out there, and it's going to be a lot of fun, in my opinion, over the next 4 or 5 years, because we just went through the lowest interest rates in U.S. history. And if you learn how to do creative financing, you're going to be able to take advantage of this, guys. It's a lot of fun. Now, I found this out by accident on a wholesale deal. I took over a loan. But I'm going to use the numbers I showed before. So say you take over a loan at 3% and you charge them 8%. And maybe you bought it for $150,000, you're selling it for $300,000. Guys, I'm not even going to go through the numbers on it. On average, on a deal like that, you're going to make between $150 and $200 extra a month. You do absolutely nothing. It actually goes into your cash flow spread, but I'm telling you, this is a big part of the profit center. If you can pick up these subject twos at these really low loan rates, and guys, interest rates are going up. So typically we sell these properties. When we carry the financing back to our end buyers, we look at the market rate and we usually add a couple points on it. Guys, we're already at like 6.5%. So if you pick one up at 3 and say you do it at 9, it's amazing. Guys, and in creative financing, on whenever you give someone like a type of note or anything, just don't exceed like 10% unless the market's there, because you start to get into like muddy waters on usury laws. I'm not going to get into it. Guys, consult a lawyer before you do these deals so you're not getting in hot water. But guys, if I can take over a loan at 3% and I can move it at 9%, you just made the arbitrage on it. It's absolutely amazing. But that's not the exciting part. The really cool part comes right here. I call it, and I quote this, I think I coined this phrase, amortization appreciation. How does that work? Real simple. I found this out by accident. I find it out so many times now, it blows me away. Guys, you never stop learning in this business. Anyone who tells you they know it all, they're lying to you, because I learned something new today. I learn something new almost every day. And the really cool thing is a lot of you guys share stuff with me. I've never even heard of it. I'm man enough to admit it. Like, You always have to be learning in life, and there is no exception in what we do. So amortization, if you take over someone's 15-year mortgage, so anybody got a 15-year mortgage really in the last 5 years, I've seen the interest rate as low as 2%. And what happens in a 15-year mortgage? More money goes to principal than it does in the interest. When you have a 30-year mortgage, honestly, the first 5 to 7 years, a majority of the money goes towards the interest first. And as the loan matures, more money goes to the principal. If you use this strategy and this method, honestly, it just happens. It's just good to identify it. And you can have more profit than you can ever imagine. I took over a deal. I take them over all the time. But my first deal was in, I want to say it was 2009 when I figured out how to do this. Is they had, ready for this? They had a 20-year mortgage. I don't know how they come up with that. And they already 10 years into it, which meaning every time I gave that seller's bank $800, $400 was actually paying down the principal. Guys, at the end of that thing, they owed like 80. It was only 80 grand left on it. After I sold it 4 years later, it knocked it down like $32,000. I'm going to cut the number in half and call it 15. Guys, when you take over these subject to mortgages, ask them or look it up. If you guys use listrei.com, you can use our PropStream account, and they will tell you when they actually took out the mortgage. And I'm telling you, it is like surprise money. It is the best day. It's like Christmas every day when you see this. It's like New Year's. Amortization, appreciation. Remember, you don't do it. You just discover it. When I find that out, I am much, much more aggressive on my creative offers. Guys, these are particular on anything that has an existing mortgage. If somebody bought it 10, 15 years ago, sometimes they refinance it. There's all sorts of things. Guys, you could really be surprised on this. And sometimes the sellers don't even know about it. And I tell them about it and they don't even care. So on average, you could do 15 if you find any just like that, and you will. And the last part of it is your exit plan, your final sale. So remember, you're typically going to offer it for 10 to 15% above market rate. Okay. And so if someone says, well, Rick, why would they pay that much more? You are the bank. You are basically providing them financing that nobody else will, and they're willing to pay a premium for it. I promise you, I've done so many. They pay for it. It's nice. If you've ever had your credit wrecked or went through a terrible divorce or a bad family situation, you just need a place to live and you got good cash flow and you have some money, they will give you an upfront payment. They will pay you above market rents, and they will pay whatever price you get because they really don't have another option. And honestly, they tried with the banks and it does not work. So, guys, I've put 5 deals together like this alone, and I net like 350K. I'm giving you 300 as a conservative value. I'm here to tell you guys, these deals exist. You've got to take advantage of them. They're in your current pipeline right now. Go get them. Simply ask them this question when you take off your wholesaling hat and just say, are you open to a creative solution? And here's the key. You have to stop talking after that and wait for the response. If it's positive, move forward. If it's negative, just move on with it to the next lead. And guys, that is it on creative financing. I think that's it. I love creative financing, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't spend all day on it. I just don't. I like to take the cash in wholesaling. I identify the deals that will generate cash today for the company. Some deals we assign. I like to assign the ones that are under like dire deadlines, hostile tenants, tons of rehab. I don't get into rehabs, guys. I do like lipstick stuff, flooring paint. I love a pressure cleaner, my favorite thing. And that's the best way to do it. So what else can I say about creative financing? I love it, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel if you're already a wholesaler. Like, oh, I gotta go. Listen, you can learn and educate yourself. When you guys do your one-on-ones, I'm happy to share information with you and do it. There's no everybody acts like there's this huge secret with creative financing. You just got to learn to have open-ended conversation. And if you can solve their problem and it solves a problem for you, meaning it will actually help you make money and better your family, then do it. Once again, you cannot force creative finance solutions. You just can't force them. It is important. So I'm going to hop on. I see the questions here. I'm going to take someone live here, and then we are going to hop on and answer. You guys got a ton of questions, and we got plenty of time to go through them. So I got somebody in a car here. So just make sure you're looking at the road unless you're pulled over. You there?
Hey.
Hey, who am I speaking with?
Hi, my name is Justin.
Hey, Justin. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I've been watching y'all for about a month.
All right, man. I don't think we ever talked before, have we?
No, I spent like the most of this broadcast trying to set up the one-on-one. It's kind of confusing.
Okay, cool. So guys, keep in mind, this is Justin. Justin knows I ain't going to hurt him. I'm like wide open. I love this business. I'm not going to ask for a credit card or do anything with them. And honestly, I'm here to help them. So I don't care if you've never done a deal. If you guys sit there and don't ask questions, I'm free. I ain't charging anybody 10 grand. I could easily command that fee. I don't need it. I've told you I'm trying to create a legacy. I do just fine in my business. So Justin, what can we help you out with today? What's your question?
There's a house in the town that I live in. I live in Edmond, Oklahoma. And
Okay.
it's kind of like in the middle of where everybody wants to live, not really super dense.
Hey, Justin, hold on 1 second. I got to fix one thing on the screen. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh. Okay. I just had to fix a setting there. Guys, you can tell this is live because if it was recorded, I wouldn't be running around. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
So it's not located in a super dense part of the city, but they're expanding pretty rapidly in that area. And the house actually was rented by my best friend in high school, and his family really just destroyed the property. I mean, disrespectfully destroyed this place.
Are you still friends with him?
No, I haven't talked to him in years.
Okay.
So I feel like just, happenstance of luck. It's just been left like that. I haven't seen inside of it for about 12 years, but nobody's lived there since. And every time I call the owner, it's just direct to voicemail. I've done Zach's strategy where you just give them your name and tell them to call you back. Keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't got a call back, but there's a co-owner or a care of, I'm not sure what it means, of a woman on the contract. Should I just go ahead and call her on the deed or on the county records?
Number one, you got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Number two, have you talked to the neighbors?
No, but my wife knew the family growing up, and she had talked to their next door neighbor at one point, and they built up a fence between the property because they were tired of looking at that.
Yeah. So the only valuable thing with neighbors is that neighbors tend to be nosy. They know everybody that comes and goes to the property, and they sometimes might have some intel. Another tricky thing.
I know the owner's wife died in about 2017, and he's about 84 himself.
You just got to figure out how to connect with them and try to help them solve a problem. For full disclosure, not all these deals work out. Like sometimes people just give up, and you can't make people sign documents. A lot of times somebody dies and people are just like, oh, it's overwhelming. Probate's not as overwhelming as people think. They just, my experience is most people have a hard time dealing with death. And then if you have a trash property on top of it, they're like, I'm just going to walk away. Have you see if anyone's paid the taxes?
It's been up to date every year since. It's gone up and down in taxes and value.
Okay.
Pretty rapidly.
So, the only other technique I've done is I've actually staked a for sale sign in the yard with your phone number. For some reason, that wakes people up. It pisses them off. But
well, I'm not sure the legality of that in Oklahoma since they passed that recent anti-predatory wholesaling bill.
Well, here's how I explain it.
It's just the anti-marketing.
Yeah, but anybody can stick a sign in somewhere. But like, I don't want you to do anything illegal, and especially if you're not uncomfortable with it. But like, I talk to the neighbors, do everything. But like sometimes, I got like 4 houses we've been circling for years. It's crazy. I don't know why somebody walk away. I'm talking about cleared free houses that are trash, just like you said.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just can't make people especially if you can't talk to somebody physically on the phone, text, anything. It's absolutely crazy.
Well,
It's
I just because of it's been on the market for over a decade, I just felt like if it were my property, I wouldn't be as open to a wholesale deal, especially when I have full equity in it, because he has
yeah,
no mortgage on it. He bought it in the '70s for $25,000.
yeah.
It's 240 on Redfin. Would you think he'd be more open to a creative financing strategy? My
Yeah.
cousin is actually an architect and remodeler and stuff. It just we didn't grow up in super good
So
graces together.
so they would probably be ideal for like an owner financing, especially if they've kept up with the taxes.
Uh huh.
Um, a lot of people just you got to understand when you sell a property like free and clear, now they get their cost basis in it, but when you bought it for 20 or 30 grand, it's worth a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Someone gets a big fat tax bill unless it's unless they have some sort of homestead exemption in your state. So um, a lot of older people, I have 3 properties right now from older people. They're just like, we don't want to pay the tax on it. And they go, hey,
Yeah.
I need this number. I'm like, and here's all I do when you do that, Justin, go, okay, I'll give you the number, but here's what I need in return.
Okay.
Guys, on creative financing, especially owner financing, the in number is not nearly as important as the cash flow numbers. And they'll
Yeah.
go like this. A lot of times you can set it up. If you just pay them interest only, now they have to report that as income, but you're not really paying down
Okay.
the principal, and then you can build up money. And then typically what I do in this strategy, you ready for this? This is where this is why I
Okay.
don't care what, it's not that I don't, so if the property's worth 250, don't offer 400. That's just silly. But say it's worth 250 and he's like, okay, I'm not taking a penny less than 260. It's fine. I'll give you 260. This is what I want. And here's what we'll do to help you avoid your tax deferment. I'll just pay you interest only. And
Okay.
then so I never do less. My preference is to have at least 60 months because it gives you time and options to do something with the property. I have deals that are,
You said 60?
yeah, 60 months, which is 5 years.
Okay.
Now, I have current deals that are only 3 years because that's all I could get. And I knew it was a good deal and I took it. But guys, if you're just starting out, always try to get 5 years because it goes by quick. I mean, it
You're
really
talking
goes
about
by quick.
a loan period or like a grace
Correct.
period?
Correct.
Loan
So
period.
this would be if you could ever talk to someone and get them to, I would try to establish like an owner financing because if they own it outright, it's really they could technically do a lease option, but an owner financing is the cleanest because it makes them feel comfortable because they record a mortgage, you negotiate terms. It's got to be a win-win. You can't be one-sided or it's never going to work. And you can pay them like interest only. And then here's the technique you use on the back end. You ready?
Okay.
Say 5 years comes by, you give them the end. You've accumulated all this cash and you go, so now you got the option, you got to cash them out. So, hey, John, I know I owe you 260,000 on it. But I tell you what, I don't wait till the 59th month to do this. I'm typically in year like 3 or 4. I
Yeah.
tell you what, I got 200 on me right now. And I would just love to give it to you. Otherwise, I guess we can just wait it out a few more years. I was
'Cause
actually
I'd
thinking
love.
about it works, dude. It works. Listen, let me ask you, say we're in a recession 3 years from now.
Yeah, I feel
And
like
like,
that's coming.
yeah. So it's like, I do it on every one of them. Every one you have some sort of, now, obviously a subject to, you can't because there's a loan on the property, but this, if he owns the loan and it's a private loan, you can offer it all the time. I just did this on a mobile home. I bought it for 40. In so we had a 5-year term, and in year 2, I mean, the value went like, I mean, it went crazy. And the guy's just like, he actually texted me and said, because this is a deal I found personally by accident off another one of my rentals. He said, do you think you just pay me like 1 year in advance? And I said, John, what if I just paid the whole amount now? I'm like, well, he goes, well, how would that work? I go, well, I know you owe 40. What if I just send you 25 and it's over? He goes,
Yeah.
man, that'd be great. Great. I go to a title company. I haven't prepared all the paperwork. I run it by a lawyer and it's good to go. I just got a $15,000. So I had a creative financing, owner financing actually turn into a wholesale deal with creative financing. Guys, I'm just telling you, that's the fun part about this. Honestly, when I started, I had no idea what I was doing. I left hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table the first 5 years I did this business because I didn't know. I actually bought a property on the water a 10,000 square foot estate with a 300-foot dock on a
Yeah.
$3 million mortgage. And I got them to do a creative deal because no one was buying in 2010. And I just didn't understand. I didn't understand it. And it was a big tax bill, like 50 grand. And I sold it. I made 100 grand. But since then, the property just exchanged for $4 million.
Yeah.
That was only 10 years
My
ago. 10
my
years ago.
dream exit strategy for this property, if I could get it, because I think about it nonstop,
Yeah.
would somehow be to creatively finance it into end result be like added to my portfolio as a rental, because I feel like it'd be in everyone's best interest to get at least a renter, if not a
Yeah.
homeowner,
And you know what?
in
The
the
guy's
property.
probably getting hammered by wholesalers. And
Yeah.
obviously that's not exciting anybody. I guarantee you, if you talk to the neighbors, there's probably been 30, 40 people by there this year alone.
Do you think he could hold out for 12 years like that?
I don't know. I've seen some strange. So some people just don't care.
Yeah.
Let me ask you: are they maintaining the outside, like the lawn and the?
I wouldn't
That,
call it maintained, but it's not getting violations and
well,
such.
somebody has to
It's
go by there a couple times a year to like clean it up or
it
like do
stands
something.
out pretty
So you need to
heavily.
find out who that person is because that person has a direct link to the owner.
I
So you're
feel
gonna have
like
to do
that
a
might
little.
be the second name on the county records.
There you go. I go crazy on that thing.
Okay. She
When
already
I
lives
see
in a million
crazy,
dollar
I
house,
guys,
so
just so someone doesn't take this out of context and clip me here, crazy
yeah.
means I would just be hyper aggressive in locating them and see if we can work a deal out. But stick to it, but just don't stop what you're normally doing and keep moving.
Yeah.
And I shared a deal in here. It took me 4 years once. I kept at it. I didn't think about it. Not in the beginning. I thought about it night and day because it was such a good deal. But I would send them a postcard. We'd send. I actually had their email address. And guys, the more points of contacts you can get when you find somebody, the better off you are. But if you find this person, look for them on social media, everything else. A lot of the older people aren't on social media. I don't
I've
blame them.
considered door knocking, but I feel like in my state it's kind of intimidating.
Yeah, I'm not here to have you like break anything. Just keep to it, and you just gonna have to think outside the box and try to connect with them. But keep in mind, if you do the sign or anything like that, if you ever get accused of it, it's like I didn't stick the sign there. Somebody took my sign and put it there. I don't know how
You
it got
got to
there.
prove it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I like you can't like I could take a sign and stick it in your front yard. You're gonna light me up for it. You call like your local authority, and when they call
But hey,
me,
we
like, what are they
established
gonna do? I go,
contact.
I didn't put it there. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, we used to do this game all the time with bandit signs, and we don't do them anymore
Yeah.
because we pretty much we pushed it. We pretty much created 3 new jobs in the counties we work in because they hire someone. All they do is pick them up all day. That's their only job.
That's funny.
35,000 a year. They're probably paid close to 50 now. So, and we used to get lit up. They put up like $50,000 in fines against but they couldn't figure out who I was. Now I was much younger, guys. I was much more aggressive. Now I can't do that stuff. I
Yeah.
do play by the rules, but do whatever you got to do to get like deals within. You just want to be legal, but sometimes you do have to push the line a little bit. Like you just can't be a traditional realtor. Like I got to follow the code of ethics.
It has
type of
something to
deal.
do with marketing without a realtor's license. So
I got it. So just listen, I'm out here. Like every state's got these. Some
yeah.
states have these quacky laws. Unfortunately, you're in one of them. So just be careful with it. But I see. By the way, I see a lot of laws. It's not. I don't think it's a law. I think it's like a rule. I don't know how they. And keep in mind that a lot of these people don't even know how to enforce the stuff. So they're just trying to prevent bad behavior. And I get it. Some people took it too far. So
Yeah.
I think you're on the right track. You're fine. Just keep going. And if it comes up, I would offer him like an owner financing deal and find out what price he wants. And if it's reasonable, just focus on the terms.
Try to get to that. Okay.
That's it. Because now you don't have to go get a bank loan. You do have to calculate because it sounds like the property is pretty bad and trashed.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
So
figure
you
out how
are going to have to
refinance.
keep an eye on it. So you're going to have
I
to
mean,
discount
rehab.
it somewhat. So, but that's it, man. Anything else?
I'm just gonna have to figure out how to create a finance into a rehab.
Dude, it's all open. So,
Yeah.
like I've done deals where I haven't paid someone for a year while I rehab it. Remember, that's a free hard money loan, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then you can use a credit card or a friend or a family to help you finance it or your own money type of deal. Like there's a million ways to skin the cat, but if you don't have to go out and get a 200 and some odd $1,000 loan, you have a lot more options to do it. If you got to go get that loan and do the rehab, it's very, very risky, extremely risky. So
Okay.
either way, obviously, you know the property, you know what it's worth. Just stay at it, and either it works out or it doesn't. But you'd be surprised how these things come back. 4 years I waited for a deal. I've been doing this
Yeah.
20. I was in shock. And honestly, it was kind of accidental. I remember popping it up. I go, just somebody go and knock on the guy's door. And sure, we knocked on the door, got no response. I left a note. They called me a week later and go, hey, we're ready. And that was a
Mhm.
probate that had like 11 heirs. And when I was there 4 years ago, I swear on this, the family members, the brothers got in a fight in the front lawn, and all out like UFC brawl. And I said, dude, this is out of my realm. When you guys work it out and you want to sell it, I'm it. And at the end, they go, man, Rick's the only guy who's going to buy this property, because it was really rough.
That's
But
funny.
it was amazing.
Sounds
And
like my hometown.
yeah, I know, it's crazy, man. So how's the weather there?
I actually, ironically, just got a tornado alert, so
Oh Lord. Okay, we'll
got
go
to
roll
let
up the
good old
windows.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, and then keep us updated and keep going at it. Like, just all you do is you keep it in and you keep refreshing the lead and figure out a system to keep following up. And but like little door notes go a long way too. If you just tape them up on the
Okay.
door. And sometimes
Yeah,
you
because
like,
there's got to be somebody going by the property.
gotta be. Who's picking up? Is there mail going there?
I haven't really looked.
So here's another little trick for you. Okay, mail them just a regular envelope. Just put in a note, hey, I need to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. And if the mail's getting forwarded, which it most likely is, as long as you put a
Yeah.
return address, they'll give you the forwarding address when it goes back to your mailbox. It'll take some time.
I've put in like 100 hours of investigation on this house. I know where everybody is.
Don't put in too much more.
Yeah, I know. It's
You
driving
should
me
put in 100
insane.
hours. I'm just here to tell you that'll eat you alive. So I
Yeah.
send them a letter and see if you get a forwarding address, and then just
Okay.
kind of keep it on the property and just go find some new leads.
All right. I appreciate your time.
Okay, bud. Have a good one, man. I'll see you, man.
too, bud.
Okay, I'm gonna answer some questions online because I'm a little bit behind here. So let's see. Triple says here, my parents wanted to buy a house. They got declined for a loan. So this is more of like a personal question, but I'll go ahead and take it anyways. Could you tell me how I can help them do a seller financing deal on an open market property? Treble, on the open market properties, unfortunately, is up to the seller. And typically when they take it to market, they're not really open to these types of terms. Most traditional single family homes sell either cash or with a bank. When you get over to commercial, there's much more creative loans. So you just got to find someone that'll give you a creative solution. You're going to have to look on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist ads, and just be warned, there is a lot of scam artists on it. So beware of that. Okay. Justin says he's on the road for his first deal. Awesome. Road less travel. If I had 100K cash, would you quit a job and go all into real estate? Dude, you should go into real estate regardless, because wholesaling doesn't require the cash to get started. So honestly, I find the most successful people are the ones with the least amount of cash to start, because failure is not an option for them. So the 100K should not influence if you go into wholesaling. Honestly, the more money you got, the more people make mistakes and try to take shortcuts. So hopefully that helps you out with it. Can creative financing be absolutely? I had deals where I've delayed payments 2 or 3 years on like really trash houses, because I let the seller be the bank for me. So why go get a hard money loan or lend from my local banks or my credit lines or my personal cash if the seller's going to do it? Why not? Leo, do you have an assignable Yes, you can assign owner financing deals, just like you can do a regular wholesale deal. So guys, this is why I don't want you to change what you do in wholesaling. You just find the deals inside of there and you keep them going. So Winston, do me a favor. Go back to yesterday's live. Oh God, I forget the gentleman's name. See, Zach's really good with names. I'm not as good. I guess it's my age. We just solved this problem for a wholesaler, and he had the same situation, and we shared step by step on what to do, and he actually saved the deal by doing it. So he says, their attorney wants to review the agreement. Should I send the seller the purchase agreement? Here's what I do. Send them the template. Just send them a blank one. and ask for their attorney's email address and their name to see if they're actually telling you. That most people are just like smoke and mirrors, see if you're going to go away. Guys, for you, those like I see people out there all the time saying, no, ever let an attorney get involved. If you don't let the attorney look at it, you're going to look like the scam artist, and the transparency is out the window. So are some of your deals going to get killed by attorney? Absolutely. There's nothing you and me can do about that. It is your seller's right, and you're probably violating multiple, how should I say it, laws in any state if you do not offer them some sort of counseling. Remember that you have the right to do it, and so do they do. And if that makes them comfortable, that's the only way you're going to deal. By you saying you can't run it by your attorney, you're guaranteeing you're not getting a deal. So do we want them to? No, because attorneys usually cloud stuff up. But for full transparency, we have to be honest with it. So go back, check yesterday's live. And then if you go back a week from today, you'll hear his initial story, and you'll hear how he saved the whole thing. So good question. It's funny how things are like multiple questions here. Yeah. And by the way, these subscription-based attorneys, it's a complete joke. So there's networking companies out there. And by the way, I have no problem with a networking company, but when you trying to sell lawyers fees on a networking company, I got a major problem with that. You could guess who the attorney, you get the guy fresh out of law school that just passed his bar after 3 tries. You're getting that guy or gal. And I'm telling you, you're probably not going to get really, really good advice at all. So who cares? Send them the template, move on. Okay. What's up, Jason? Long time no speak.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, man?
Not much. I didn't have a question
Okay.
about creative finance, but I had another quick question. I was talking with I actually went and looked at a house with the seller, and we agreed on 130,000. I didn't get the contract signed right then and there. I told him I had to check with my partner, and then I would call him that afternoon. So, and this was Wednesday. So Wednesday afternoon, I called him and I said, 130 works with my partner. Let's go ahead and, let's get the contract signed, get the ball rolling.
Got it.
And he told me he wants 140,000 at that point.
So he's changed his mind.
Well, we never really agreed on 130. He said that he wants to get 130, and anything more than that would be profit. So I pretty much, to me, I thought that was okay. Let's do 130. So, anyways, I'm fine with 140. So I got him to 140 on the phone, but instead of me going to meet him that evening, he told me, I want to think about the 140, and I will get back to you tomorrow morning and let you know for sure. And that was yesterday morning. He never called. So, and I didn't call him back yesterday. I didn't call him back today. Yeah. I actually just called him back about an hour ago, and guess what happened?
What?
It went to voicemail.
Yeah. So you're being ghosted. It's common. So I'm going to give you a little tip here. So, dude, and by the way, guys, this is the norm. Like, nobody shares this stuff with you. Whenever you're conversing with the seller and they start like waffling the slightest on you, it's one or two things. Sometimes it's pure greed. There's nothing you can do about it. Like if it's all about the money, the highest price. But if you precondition your seller beforehand and tell them, I'm probably not going to be your highest offer, but I'm going to be your best offer. Because guys, we're not buying traditional real estate with a real estate agent that's perfectly clean. We're buying distressed properties on average, either distressed homeowners, distressed properties, or both. So it takes somebody that's going to be empathetic. They understand there's going to be some sort of discount involved in it. Sometimes realtors get into their ear, but when they start waffling and they say the words, I need to think about it, you got one or two choices. Either try to attack it while you have them on the phone, because Usually when they do that, you don't hear from them sometimes weeks, if not months after that. They're basically saying you got one more opportunity, Jason, to close me. Otherwise, I'm not. They're basically telling you they're not comfortable with something. Now, if it's greed and price, there's nothing you can say to overcome it. And they'll usually
Right.
just spit it out. You're not the highest offer. I'm like, okay, I was never going to be. So instead of hanging up, you have nothing to lose to kind of attack them at that point and nicely and just say, Mr. Seller, what is it that's making you uncomfortable in this transaction? Like, what is there something that I'm missing? Because they don't want to tell you. It's this the truth. If it's the
Right.
price thing, they'll usually just throw out the price like right away. But honestly, if it's they don't like the terms or you're taking too long or you insulted their grandmother, they're going to throw it out. The worst thing you can do is let them drag you on forever because it's like that girl you asked for the prom and she didn't give you an answer and like you're sitting by your phone and you're 16 years old. It's torture, guys. So just hit them in the mouth. Hey, what is it that you don't like about me? I go in the shock and awe. Did I piss you off? Did I say something wrong? I am so sorry. And I try to wedge my foot in there. And then if I can get belly to belly, I'm going to get to them because I know from 20 years experience when they hang up the phone, I'm going to be fighting for hours to ever try to connect with them. It's a helpless feeling, man, because honestly, once they don't contact you within 24, 48 hours, dude, they sail away. And sometimes they revive, but the reality is, so when they start doing that, I need to think about it. That's code for I'm going to ghost you. There's something making me brutally and maybe it's something stupid. Maybe a realtor is trying to convince them of doing something. And if you can try to get to them in person, they'll always tell you the truth. On the phone, they're pretty good at lying to you, but you say, listen, I'm just a regular guy. I want to help you. I thought we kind of had an agreement. We talked about everything. What am I missing? Is something happened between the time we met last time and this conversation and see what they say.
Right.
It's a 50-50 shot. But I've had people tell me, listen, I just ain't going to sell to you. I don't like you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like
that would be better. I'd
right.
have some
Guys,
pleasure,
you're better off having them to tell you to take a flying leap. It's like you wind up in this friend zone. And it's like the worst thing. It's like, dude, like, are we going to go to the dance or can I just go find another girl or guy or whatever it is? And it's like, I hate it, but you can't let it eat you up as a wholesaler. It's on them. And you just got to do a better job. And when you start hearing the ship sinking, like I need to think about it or you guys know
what the problem
I need to
is,
talk to my lawyer. I need to do this. The reality is there's something that's getting in the way of it. And the worst is when you had a really good conversation a day or two before and you're just following up, getting ready to meet paper. And they go, I got to think about it. I'm just like, here's what I always say. I go, hold on. I go, I'm actually just around the corner, even though I'm not. And I want to swing by. My phone's dying. I want to talk. I'll do anything. You have to, guys. You can't just go, okay. And then they're just going to work you like a dog. And it's like, you guys work too hard to this point. So the next time they do that, just catch them and just hit them in the mouth with it and go, did I say something wrong? And we had a wonderful conversation. And then I go back over the deal. And then if I can try to get in person with them, I can. If they're virtual, I'm just going to have a hard conversation with them right there. I rather it come to an end right away. If sometimes they won't. I've had people where they've already signed another contract. They don't want to tell you because they feel bad for you. They actually go, Jason, man, I really like you. You're going to start crying when I do this. And I'll give you full disclosure. I've cried over a deal before. I've learned I don't cry anymore. I threw stuff when I was a lot younger. You just, it's a maturity thing you get over. So here's how you fix it. If you guys are having this problem, do get more leads, do more marketing. And so many people try to double down on bad leads. Sometimes just move on. Now, sometimes it's a wholesaling deal. It's just not going to work and they want too much. And then that's where you can put on your creative financing hat. But you do have to have some sort of like pause or break on a difficult one when you do that. And you just kind of go back and say, hey, you open to a creative solution. I thought about your price. I got a way I can get you your price. When can we sit down and talk? And that's where we kind of so we have thousands and thousands. We always have thousands of like creative financing deals in our wholesaling business. And we're constantly trying to go through them. And I used to use the strategy back in 2009, 10, 11, although there were so many leads back then because I could I could buy a wholesale deal off MLS. They were just really hard to sell. Is I used to go with other wholesalers because they didn't know what they do. For 3 years, I made so much money flipping short sales because wholesalers didn't know what to do with them. I was
Right.
just like, okay, like I figured this out. I figured that out. And the really cool thing is you go along, you just keep learning as you go. It's like really cool. And, listen, you can take a course, you don't take a course. I don't care which way you choose. Just always grow, always be willing to learning. Like there's so many ways to skin a cat in real estate. If I had to teach like a master course, it would probably be like a 4-year college. Like it's just a lot of information to shove down your mouth. So, but I try to teach where 75% of the profit is, because it's not worth spending years on trying to master that 20, 30% when I know a lot of people aren't going to use it for years down the road. So one day short sales will come back. Dude, I know how to lick those things like all the way to the end. And banks have really manipulated it where it's very hard for investors. They've restricted the deed and stuff like that. But that's what you get when you deal with someone with a lot of experience. So just learn when they say that, they're telling you, think about it. I've already told you how to address the lawyer one. What's the other one?
Yep.
I got to talk to my neighbor, or I'm talking to a realtor. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were listing the property. Once again, you got to look how you precondition the seller to get this crap out of the way up front. So there's nothing worse investing time with someone who doesn't actually want to sell you the house. They just want to use your information. So
I feel like it went so good at meeting him in person. Like we connected, everything was so good.
Something's changed, and you got to find out what that change has been.
I may have spooked him because I said my partner said 100. I offered him 120,000, and he said no. That maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
So go back and go, listen, I just, you know what? I was probably wrong with my whole partner thing. I'm just going to, go good cop, bad cop. I'm just going to ignore my partner. I want to do something with you. Let's just meet and put this thing together. Just start doing messages like that, text like that, and just kind of go forward. So,
do you think text him?
Well, what you know him better than I do. So, look.
Well, at this point,
you connect with him.
At this point, I've called him once and he didn't answer, and every other time he answered right away. So,
and so here's the other
he's probably just ghosting me.
Don't be the stalker either, where you're like,
that's what I didn't want to do. That's why I didn't call him right away yesterday morning.
My wife used to get so upset. I used to take my wife's phone and I would call sellers that are ghosting me, and they answer right away.
And they answer, right.
Yeah. And then my wife goes, this guy keeps calling me back on the phone. I go, that's good. Hand me the phone. She goes, I have no idea who it is. He keeps asking for you.
Yeah.
So
I think that'll get them mad.
Yeah. I don't like blocking the number because you look really suspect. So you can get a virtual number. You guys can get Google numbers. You can do all this for free. It's not that hard. So just keep at it. Like the really cool thing, Jason, is you're learning. Everything is, you are learning as you go. That's the best way to learn.
I'm definitely learning.
You just learn. Hard way, I got to make that mistake again. So when you get a couple years down the road, this is you're like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then you can show other people under you how to do it. That's how I taught Zach. That's how I taught thousands of people to do this business. It's the same. You have to go through the experience. Everybody thinks you can take a course and avoid all this stuff. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. You have to experience the pain to gain the pleasure of wholesaling and creative financing. The idea is just so you don't get hurt. I don't want you to get hurt. Your feelings can get hurt because I guarantee you it's going to happen. I guarantee you're going to have a fight on your hands, but if you can get through it, amazing things will happen. So keep going at it. You got it. You're in the right area, and you kind of learn. And you got it.
All
man.
Right. Well,
Anything
I
else?
appreciate it, Rick. Nope, that's it. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend. I appreciate it.
I will, buddy. I'll see you, man.
See you
later. Okay, guys, I am free for anybody who wants to talk about creative financing. I really want to you guys know, for the last year, I've answered any questions. I'm just trying to help as many people with creative financing as possible. If you hop on there, I'm on here for the next 45 minutes. Let's do it, man. I'm not charging you. It's 100% free. So when people say, you get what you pay for, I'm right here, buddy. There's no credit card. There's no check standing in the way. Hop on here. I will help you out. 20 years experience. I actually love to help people. It's just, I know how frustrating it is to try to navigate through all these funnels, and I'm going to give you this free, but you got to pay for this. I'll just give it to you all free, but you got to get on the phone. Like, get on the live, man. Click the link up there and join us. So somebody said how to locate cash buyers. Actually, Looney, I think you were just on here. If you hop on, like, I can share it in person. If you guys are looking for buyers on Creative Financing Deal, it's so easy. It's a joke. It's like, you'll get buried with leads. It's not even a problem, I promise you. People are desperate for doing deals where they don't have to go to a bank. You ever go into a bank? You ever see how much paperwork you got to do? All the underwriting, the credit score, last 2 years, tax returns. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. The only thing you look for when you're selling a good creative financing deal is they have steady income. So I look for job history. I want someone to be a job at least 2 years or longer. If they just started a new job, I probably don't want to take a risk unless they're putting down a huge down payment. Let's see here. Okay, you guys are answering. So Corey's out there. If you guys don't know Corey, he's here all the time. He took advantage of all me and Zach's information, and without pulling a dime out of his pocket, he's gone and he's moved on. He's just doing tons of deals, and Corey's going to grow, and Corey's going to come back to me in 5 years and probably give me a job because he's doing so well. But like, Corey reminds me a lot of myself of like when I got started in the business. I was just hungry, man. So he says he loves seller financing personally. At 2 properties right now, he's wholesaling that he acquired with 500 down, guys. Each on seller finance, he's going to make 25 to 30K. Guys, this is what it's all about. And what's the difference between you, me, and Corey? The only difference is Corey took action. I took action. It's up to you. We can sit here and talk about it all day, and I'm going to help as many as I can. But when we get off this, you got to go make calls. You got to go knock on doors. You got to send mail out. You got to send text, and you got to get your cold calling. It's as I was taught in the industry, you're not going to get home and there's a duplex sitting in your driveway. It just doesn't work that way. Let's see here. I'm reading, guys. So, what's up, Michelle? Says, hey, Rick, what are your thoughts on doing a lease option before getting a wholesale deal in a local market that's saturated? I'm fine with it as long as you're in a positive cash flow situation. Okay. If you guys go out and go in a negative cash flow. So what's a negative cash flow? It's when, say, you put 30 grand because that's the only way they're going to do it. And you move somebody in and they only give you 10 grand or 15 grand or even 20 grand. That leaves you $10,000 to $15,000 in the hole. You are in the negative cash flow position. And if you're brand new and starting in this business, you did, okay, kudos, you got to create a financing deal, but you just laid the money out. You have no idea how that deal is going to work out. And honestly, you got to make up that money. It's going to take you probably 5 to 10 years to make up the difference on that money. And for that reason, I rather you stick with wholesaling, because the reason they're going to do that deal is because actually your seller's winning and you're losing. Tell me different. If you're brand new, can you afford to lay 15, 20 grand out? How many houses are you going to be able to do like that? Now, I can do it all day. Like, I don't care. I'll play the long game all day. I've been doing it 20 years, guys, though. 20 years. I have a arsenal behind me. I never started out doing this. And the only ones I ever got in trouble is when I reached and I put out more money that was coming in. We had to do rehab and it blew up on my face. So if you're in positive cash flow, Michelle, do it. If you want to talk about it, guys, hop on. I'm happy to help anybody out. And here, I'll add to it. I will open it up past creative financing. If you are new to this channel and you just want to talk to me and you got a question, let's do it. I want to help some new people out today. And guys, I want to overcome the myth that you got to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to connect with a highly qualified real estate investor that is incredibly good at wholesaling and creative financing. So, okay, Brock, give me 1 minute. I'm bringing you on here. Let's see. So Jordan says, hey, can I pair up with a wholesale real estate company and get leads because they don't want to do? Absolutely. Guys, this strategy wasn't invented like in the last year. This has been going on forever. I did this way back, 2009, 10, 11, all this stuff. and you can do it. It's a smart way to do it. By pairing up with people that don't want to do it, you are missing the boat. So yeah, absolutely, Jordan, go ahead and do it. So Brock, I'm going to pull you on here. You ready? You there? Brock, you got to unmute your microphone. I can't hear you. Brock.
Hello?
Hey, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Where you out of?
I'm out here in Mississippi, in Brookhaven, Mississippi.
Okay. Well, what's going on, man? What can I help you out with?
I got like 2 questions because I'm brand new. I started following you and Zach probably like 5 days ago.
That's perfect, dude. So just ask me and let me see if I can help you out.
My first question was on the contract side. I wasn't really too sure how I would get the contract and send it to the individual.
Okay. So are you trying to do deals like in your local market, or is it virtual?
Right now I'm just trying to start locally just so I get the hang of it.
Okay. So have you gone to freewholesaling.com yet?
Free wholesaling doc. No.
Okay. So Brock, I'm going to make this really easy for you. If you go to freewholesaling.com, I guarantee you it's 100% free. I'll never take a dime from you. Okay. So only thing I ask for is your email so I can communicate with you. That's it. That's all I said. And I'm going to give you a $10,000 course with 25 years experience that every other guru is going to charge you a fortune for. Go there. The contracts are there. Everything's there. There's tons and tons of videos, attachments. That's how most people get started in this. The reality is, before me and Zach came along, you had to pay a huge fee, and it created barriers for people like you and me. So freewholesaling.com, you put in your email and you get access to the course. That's it. It's that simple. I'm telling you, it's all right there, because I would have to take 4 hours to show you everything. So me and Zach created so someone like you can take advantage of it and just dive into it. You don't have to memorize the whole thing, but you can get the contracts there. We'll teach you how to talk to sellers. We give you scripts and the whole 9 yards. So if you start there, it's like you're getting that big fat textbook they try to charge everywhere else, and I'm just going to give it to you for free, and you can come and go as you want. I'm not going to take it away from you. I pay for this service, and I want to help people out like you. There should be no barriers. People are trying to make barriers for wholesaling, and me and Zach are just trying to break it all down. So you're going to have all the tools there. So what other questions can I help you to get started? That'll help you right there. What else you got?
Yeah. Well, my next question was going to be on the cash buyer, but that's probably inside the course as well, huh?
It's all there. So are you Brock or?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
that's my last name.
Okay. So what's your first name?
Rico with 2 C's.
I like it, Rico. Okay. Do me a favor. Go through that course. Everything's there. And then you know where to connect with me and Zach. We're here 4 days a week. And you can connect anytime and just get going there. There's tons of information in there, but you got to put the time in. I'm giving it to you for free. If you take it seriously and treat it like you spent 10 grand, I promise you will get a 10 times return on your time investment in it. Okay.
Okay. I'll keep y'all updated as well.
Okay. You got it, man. I appreciate you, man. You have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Appreciate it.
Okay. I'll see you, man. What's up, Matthew? How you doing?
Hey, Rick, man, I've been watching you for the last month. This is pretty exciting to see you live. I mean,
tell me about your hats back there, man. I'm a big hat guy. I like hats.
Oh, yeah, my hat collection. I actually, when we started COVID, had a lot of meetings and had a blank wall, so I had to do something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it what sport is that? Is that baseball?
It's gonna be baseball, football, and hockey. So I'm pretty much well-rounded. I like all sports. So
yeah, where are you located?
I'm up in Seattle.
Okay.
I'm actually based out of like south of Seattle, so I'm in Tacoma. But I'm having a lot of I'm really trying to learn a lot these last couple months. I've been going through the real estate training, and trying to understand where I want to just be an investor. I don't really want to be an agent. And I stumbled across some of Zach's videos, and then just started trying to like absorb as much information as possible. I'm trying to find, with my area, it's really competitive, and the ARVs are pretty high, like above 450.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to locate, like, getting over the fear of like calling people in different states, and also just trying to narrow down which remote locations I'd want to invest in. So I have family in Georgia and in Arizona.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking those are the two cities that those are the two states that I might start first, because I can have boots on the ground without really I can just ask them to go look at properties and maybe meet sellers and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so I don't know, what's your recommendations for if you don't live in a state? So I'm trying to make this broad so you can help as many people as possible. So people that live in locations where it's highly competitive, in cities that are not so friendly for I'd say wholesalers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you recommend them doing when they are first getting started? What are their steps?
So I'm just going to give you some basic rules that way. Telling you, number one, always incorporate your local market.
Okay.
I talked to a lady like Manhattan, like the craziest place. Like if you had to pick the hardest part between that and London, like I mean, if you're going to go international, that's where you're going to have like major roadblocks. But what happens in life is how long you been in Seattle for?
Pretty much my whole life.
Okay. So you know the place very well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know so you know this stuff. So now that so how long have you been like looking into wholesaling, like actually taking a little bit of action?
So the last, I'd probably say I've been in it about 60 days. So I actually started I made the mistake of like jumping into PropStream with the 7-day trial and like not really even knowing what I was doing.
Okay.
So I ended up like having the software and looking at all the lists and the properties around the area, and still not even really understanding where I was going to start investing my time and spending all my time. But I have a full-time job making really good. So another big problem for me is I have a really like good paying job. So so I'm battling that safety net that you have with a good paying job and trying to start something for myself.
Matthew, how old are you?
I'm 37.
Okay. So I had to go through the same decision at 33. I actually had a really good paying job. I was just miserable. Like, so are you happy where you work?
Yeah. So that's the thing is I like my job, but I don't necessarily love working for other people.
Okay.
I think like my dad's had a lot of businesses, so I was raised to be an entrepreneur, like self-starter, things like that. And I feel like I'm just that's really what I'm trying to get around is I want to start something for myself, some sort of legacy for my family and stuff like that.
So let me give you a few things without like going on too long here, because there's so much to like digest here. Number one, you got to determine your why. I kind of got it, but I don't. The problem is the why has to be strong enough to take massive action. Otherwise, it's a hobby. So a lot of people do wholesaling hobby, and I don't have a problem with that. Like I have good friends. I had a friend that I started in this business with. I haven't seen him in a long time, but he was a firefighter, and he had benefits. He had a flexible schedule. He'd be like 3 days on, 4 days off. And he decided when he was doing it, he was just going to keep his firefighter job because he needed that security and he was never going to let it go. And I knew it from day one, but it actually wound up being perfect for him because he just wanted to do it. You got to just sometimes be honest with yourself. If you have a good paying job and you actually like it, don't kick it to the curb. When people tell you burn your bridge, I'm telling you, I couldn't burn my bridge at the time because I had 2 small children, a mortgage, and I was hooked. Every 2 weeks, I got that big fat paycheck, and it took me a good 6 months to get off of that. It was like a drug or an alcohol. Like I had to have it, and I know exactly what you're going through with it. So you're going to have to make that decision if you want to like come up with a plan to do it full time. I will tell you this: You can keep your full-time job and transition into wholesaling, or keep wholesaling as I don't like the word side hustle because I don't think anyone takes us here, but you can kind of create it as just a wealth building opportunity. You just buy some properties, you let them compile, and you go from there. On the second part, you're relatively new to it. Whatever, you get PropStream or not, it ain't gonna hurt you. It's you always do your local market first. So now you're aware, you kind of know what you're looking for. You're getting used to terminology. So the interesting thing is, you're looking at a pink elephant right now, and now you can identify all the pink elephants around you. Before, you couldn't even see one because you didn't even know what the heck you were looking for. And so you're going to see opportunities you never saw before. And if you're educated and you figure out how to buy these properties, especially in like a tight market like yours, you don't have to take down 30, 40 properties a year. What if you just added 1 or 2, right?
Yeah.
It would make a tremendous difference, because it could be $100,000 payoff in a year or 3 years from now. I mean, especially in the last few years. Like, if even you made that decision, I don't want you to buy marginal deals from realtors. That's not my game. I don't do that at all. But I'm here to tell you that always do your local market, because you know the values, and if something comes on, you can move fast. The key is to get the properties off market. That's what me and Zach teach, and that's what you got to focus on. As far as doing the virtual areas, you can use PropStream to help identify good areas, like for cash buyers. Any place that you have family, you've lived, maybe you went to college, or you live somewhere else, that is probably the places I start with. Why? Because you're familiar with them. Okay. The third strategy is, if you have an area and you're thinking about it, go look up different groups on Facebook, Craigslist ads, whatever, and find wholesalers, get on their cash buyers list, and reverse engineer where they're having success. Don't you go out and try to figure it out yourself, because you don't know. You're guessing. You're 100% guessing. So once you find the area, you're going to treat it just like if you were digging for gold. Instead of getting the big excavator and dig up the whole place, you're going to do test little holes. You're going to do either cold calling, or whatever it is, SMS or mail, and you test. And when you find gold, then you can open up an operation there. That's the beauty of virtual markets. You can kind of come and go. The downside to virtual markets, they do take time. You will not figure it out overnight. Honestly, it's a 3 to 6 month venture to find where the money is, because you're prospecting and you got to figure it out. And sometimes the areas change. The last one, the fear of cold calling, that's just that you got to make a decision on that one. Like, it's, I hate cold calling. I've never hid that from anybody on this show. Zach loves it. He's like a born cold caller. Like,
it sounds like it. I watch him.
He used to sit at the dinner table and cold call while we ate. He's like,
he acts like it's so free. It's just like, I'm just like, man, I don't know if normal people like act like that. It's just like scary.
So if you want to do it, you got to kind of get in your head a little bit. If you don't have the conviction to do it, you won't do it. And if you don't want to do it, I can't make you do it. So you're going to have to make that decision on your own. Me and Zach can't do that for you. Once again, I would sit down and find out like what your why is, what I initially talked about, and kind of lay some foundation. Because when you get into this, it goes pretty quick. It's a lot of fun. But you got a lot going on, guys. It doesn't matter what age you are. You're still young, dude. In your 30s, like, you're a baby. So I don't mean that negative. It's just,
a lot of time.
I would transition. So here was my goal when I left my job, is I want to build up 1 year's salary before I left. If I could do that, then my job was taking away from my wholesaling. And maybe you set that as your mantra, because it's, I don't want you leaving a good paying job and they're like, I'm not here to hurt people. Like, but I think you have the entrepreneur kind of in you. I had the same thing with my father. Like, he broke out like in his business. He told me to go to college, get a good job. It didn't work out. I was miserable. I was so miserable. I was ready for a massive change, and I hit a wall. I couldn't take it anymore. I hated my boss. If you guys ever had that miserable boss, please put in the comments. You know exactly what I'm talking about it, and make some decisions and hop on these lives. We'll help you out. And once you find a market and you can kind of start finding deals, like, people get like very married to them. But if you watched the show yesterday, I had somebody from, I had 4 people internationally, all over the world, and they're doing deals in the United States. So you got to understand, they're cold calling. They're 5,000 miles away and they're doing deals. I'm like, good Lord, we are spoiled here in America.
They're killing it too. It's just crazy. Like just to see
Well,
people like
they're just taking the only difference between them and you, Matthew, is they're just taking a lot of action.
oh yeah. Yeah. More
So
action.
you have to decide what you want to do. I agree. I could never work for somebody ever again. It would be suicide for me, but I did it for a long time and I was just miserable. So life's short. We ain't getting out of here alive. You got to do what you enjoy. So, but look at your obligations, make sure you're taking care of everything. And then you're going to have to make some decisions, press forward. Sitting in that maybe zone is not good for your sanity.
For sure.
So you can find it out.
I just wanted to thank you guys for like all your guys' content. You guys are pretty amazing at just being able to have a business, but also just, you know, you guys are successful, but you guys are still like pushing content out and just being interactive.
Yeah, we're
it's
real.
just amazing.
Like,
you don't see it. It's not very common. I mean, I just want to commend you guys.
So so tune in. I'm going to share something with you. So Randy, Tanya, Ron, I see you all. I promise coming on. I'm going to bring Tanya on in just like 2 minutes. So Matthew, have an awesome day, man.
You too.
You got it. Make some decisions. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, before I don't want the show to end. I wanted to, let me see if I still have it. It might have, dang it. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to bring Tanya on while I try to pull something up on the other computer. You guys know I'm the least tech savvy person probably on this entire stream. So Tanya, you there? I'm assuming. Tanya, unmute your microphone. I can't hear you. Tanya. Okay, while I wait for Tanya, let me try. Okay. Let's see this. I'm going to show you guys something. I promise you. You'll enjoy it. Okay.
Hey Rick, I don't have any questions. I'm just viewing for now.
Oh, awesome. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Where are you located?
I'm in Las Vegas.
Awesome. Actually, I'm going to Las Vegas very soon. I haven't been out there in a while, so it's I'm going to go out and visit a bunch of friends and hopefully some old family members. So we need more females. You guys are so underrepresented in this industry, and it drives me nuts. Are you curious about wholesaling or?
Yeah, so I just got the content, the free wholesaling.
Okay.
I started watching that yesterday.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm definitely wanting to dip myself into real estate, and I think that's the beginner route to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old are you, Tanya?
I'm 22.
Okay. So Zach's 22. So, God, my God, like you got the whole world in front of you. Just go through freewholesaling.com, tune back in and go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. And you got this. Like, just if you're curious about it, let me ask you, what's your draw to wholesaling?
My draw? I actually saw this on TikTok. Like, I didn't know anything about real estate. And then it was somebody that mentioned it. And then it just kept coming in on my For You page, more and more content, and it just sparked my interest. But
do you work right?
Do
you work right now?
I do. I have a full-time job, but I don't know. I just knew that just working for somebody else is just not for me.
Okay. Well, the really cool thing is we don't charge you anything. So take advantage of the information. And if you decide to take massive action, Tanya, I didn't figure this out till I was 33, and I went on a journey. And like, I never in my wildest dreams would have dreamt what would have happened just by taking action. And guys, keep this in mind. I was criticized by family. I had friends tell me I was crazy. I literally felt like I was on Mars when I jumped in this. You guys are a little bit different now. You got a lot more support and stuff like this. So if you want to make change, if you don't like working for someone else, if you want complete freedom of your time, if you want to take 3 months off and just go around the world, I'm telling you, wholesaling will do it. It's not a shortcut. You actually have to put in the work. I'm not going to like trick people, but it's amazing. You're going to put the work in somewhere. So you might as well put the work into yourself. But Tanya, go through, look through the course. We're live 4 times a week. Tune into us, share with what we're doing. And honestly, all we want to do is help people out. And I really appreciate you tuning in. And we need more women. I promise you, if a woman tunes in right now, I'll jump her to the top just because I just want to represent it. There's a lot of males in this industry. I'm not knocking it, but like I'm telling you right now, female wholesalers are 10 times more deadly than men. They're more patient, they know how to talk to people, and they're less threatening. And that's why if you're new and you're definitely a female, I'm telling you, you have a competitive advantage, and I'm here to tell you. So, especially virtually, because then you don't have to risk like a whole lot. Like, it's just safe. So, keep tuning in, and if you have a question, you know how to get a hold of us now, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, you have a
you
have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, Tanya.
You as well. Thank you.
See ya. Okay, so guys, I think I figured this out. So, let me see here. So I'm going to show you something. Because like sometimes we get a little too serious in like wholesaling, and I want to share with you, guys, understand my son's only 22, and he's still my kid. Like I like a lot of people like, oh, you're Zach. So yeah, Zach has a lot. I have a lot of fun because he's like my son. So let me show you something. Okay, so this right here is a picture of me and Zach. I think he was like 11 years old there. Is that funny? Okay. So I'm going to show you some more. Because a lot of people, they don't understand, like 10 years ago, this kid was like a tiny little kid. He just, at 16, he really started to like go, hey man, I got to do like what my dad does. I don't want to work. He worked at a local grocery store. Where is it? And well, I'm not going to show you all of them. And then this was him when he started wholesaling. And I'm trying to prove a point to you here. Okay. So that's a picture I haven't done. So Zach did wrestling 4 years. And he's going to kill me for sharing this. But I'm telling you guys, it just takes courage to get started into this. And courage doesn't always know. You don't always know it all. You just take the action. And if you guys will just do it, okay, you got to understand. 5 years ago, he's sitting in high school wrestling. And so I always try to push my kids. And if you have guys, gals, your kids need to be pushed. You can't coddle them. You got to like let them experience life. And that's why Zach did so well at wholesaling. I always pushed. And we tend to push our kids in sports really hard. And all the parents can agree on here. You got to give the same effort to get them happy and financially free in life. Do not wait till like 30 years old to figure things out like I did. I'm here to tell you guys, this kid was just in high school and he's doing an amazing business and he's joined me on the journey. And honestly, without Zach, I don't know that I would have paired up and done this because I didn't really technically need to do this. So I just want to kind of show you, like, I got people doing it internationally. I know Veron, he's in Canada, right? And guys, I've got literally 12 minutes, so I'm going to go a little speed round. So you got to have like one question. I'm hoping it's creative financing driven. If not, be fair to me because I've got like time questions. So Ron's shaking his head, so I'm going to save him for last. So Ron, don't hang up low. So Randy, what's going on, man?
It's not a question on creative financing.
Okay, well, what's going on?
But I asked Zach the other day, and I did the whole numbers and stuff. But I just have one question on finding comps like for a property. It's 12 months, right? Do you guys find it in 12-month range, like comparable?
You're talking about just purely comps. I missed some of what you're saying. I couldn't hear it.
Like just finding comps on a property.
Okay. What's the question though? Like
do you guys find it, like, do you guys do the 12-month range or 6 months?
I would never go past 12 months, and especially in today's market because it's rapidly changing.
Yeah.
6 months is more realistic. And 12 months kind of tells you which way the property is going. So we all know which way properties have been going the last few years. So like you just need to see if they're bidding up or they're bidding down. But I'm here to share a little secret with you on this. You ready? Some of you people in the beginning spend too much time looking at comps. You're never going to get it perfect. I'm 20 years in the business. I still miss on comps sometimes. You have to focus on seller's motivation, because if you spend too much time on comps, in my opinion, you're probably overpaying for the property. It's just how it works. So if I have a property that's worth 200 grand and I'm trying to buy it for 180 and I'm trying to find a comp for like 215, 220 to give me permission to deal, that's not a deal. Okay. Comps should be very basic. When I first started, I had no ability to pull comps. I had to go like public records. It was a nightmare. That forced me to get really, really good deals. Fast forward today, between PropStream, which you can use listrei.com, you got Batch, you got so many tools, you got Zillow, you got Trulia, you got Redfin, like this, you got realtor.com. It's ridiculous. I used to have to go and like pay a realtor to pull comps. I'm here to tell you, if you're spending too much time on the comp, you're not spending enough time on focusing on motivated sellers. Like there's just some deals, they're just not going to work no matter how hard you try. And then you can double down on your mistake and go, okay, well, the comps are going up, so I can squeeze this out of it. Only if you're in your local market and you really know the area and you can make it work. But I'm just here to tell you that there's so many, like honestly, if you're new to wholesaling, do not spend a ton of energy on comps. So when I do comps, I try to look within the closest radius I can. PropStream does a wonderful job. So does Batch on this. And I'm always going to look at the Zillow. Occasionally I'll look at realtor.com. And then I'm just seeing, are they all coming within a range? And then once you have that range, you have to make a decision, where we're going. A lot of times you actually have to look at the property or get some pictures of the inside, because if it's trashed on the inside, the comp's out the window, kind of like you're fighting over the last 15, 20 grand. It doesn't work. So I'm here to tell you, I need you to spend more time on pulling the right list and stuff like that. And if a comp, honestly, guys, like 5-10 minutes, move on. You cannot spend that much energy. And then when you get down to the final contract, you're in a contract, that's when you go a little bit deeper in comps and you have all the repair list. But so many people obsess over looking at the comps before you even have a contract. And to me, you waste a lot of time. I wasted a lot of time my first 2 years of comps. Like I almost thought about becoming a realtor. I spent so much time doing it. So your question I'm already telling what you're experiencing. Am I somewhat right or?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just telling you, like, if the deal's too tight, you got to recircle and go back at a better number or find out more details on the property. But if there's no motivation, the reality is if the house isn't motivated and the seller's not motivated, you are nothing more than a buyer on MLS and they're looking for the highest bidder. And once you accept that fact, you can move on. That is not wholesaling. That's what we call speculating. And I don't teach that. I don't do it. I've never done it. The only time I speculated when I bought my own home. And but you're not you're going to live in the home and you sell it. Like you buy your personal home, you get the best deal possible at the market rate. Guys, there's a huge difference. So I'm here to tell you is, Randy, what I want you to do is spend a lot less effort on comping, because it's just, you can look at those numbers till you tremble. They ain't going to change. Like you're going to have a range, and then you got to figure out what's going on with the physical property, if it's up to par or not. And if you're targeting the right list, it should not be. Guys, it should not be. Very rarely do I find properties on my list that are perfect. Every now and then. But Randy, less time comping.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, bud. I'll talk to you, man.
All
See ya. Okay, everyone. So I answered that question. Now I feel obligated to answer your question. So what's going on, man?
Hey, man. How you doing?
It looks cold there. How cold is it outside?
It got better now. It is around 14 degrees Celsius.
Oh. See, so
it is better. It is better. It was 0 or 3 degree.
Oh my God. I'm not even going to do the conversion, because America, we're the only, I think we're the only ones in the, I feel like the only ones in the world on this, like Fahrenheit. And it's like I actually prefer to be on the metric, because I just feel like it's because the rest of the world's on it. I don't know how the United States I don't know.
They
Anyways,
try to be unique.
you got a lot of that ice and stuff on the ground?
No, we went to mountains like for 3 days with my sister. Before I actually get into 90 days, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get myself out. And along that, I was calling sellers also when we were going there. So we went to mountains. There it was snowing, but on the south side here, it wasn't snowing at all.
Okay, let's get to the question. We're on the clock here. Let's go.
Okay, yeah. So as it's been a week, right? I just been accountability call. I'm taking the course, right? I think I'm on a marketing module.
Okay.
As I was like all excited, I was like, I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Before from year or a year and a half, I was just waiting because I want to get into license real estate, like a realtor. And because I'm not a permanent resident, so it was really hard to get it. And as I was like completely focused on wholesaling and Airbnb now, I have one Airbnb, and it was doing good. Okay, focused on wholesaling. When I just got back from the mountains, I received an email that they accepted my application without even permanent residency because I was just kept calling them, And now I was like, when I gave up on that, like after a year or year and a half, like I have to wait for my permanent residency, which gonna take I don't know how much time, maybe a year or maybe 6 months. So I focused on wholesaling, and it came up that my course for realtor course got approved. So my just question was, should I go with both of them alongside, because realtor stuff will be just in Canada here in Alberta province, and wholesaling I want to focus in states first.
Okay, so I'm on a limited time here. What is there a huge cost to becoming a realtor there?
3-4 grand, which is all right. I know I can get it back in like, when I get my license, I can get it back in like 2 or 3 months. I just wanted to know, like,
is there a lot of competition in Canada with realtors?
I'm not scared of competition. I would have clients because I have good presence with the Indian community here.
Listen, Varun, that like honestly, it's a personal choice. I'm not going to give you good guidance on it.
No,
my feeling in the States, I tell wholesalers not to get their license, but because you're in Canada, it's like a different world, and wholesaling is kind of relatively new. It might be a good backdoor for you to penetrate, but you got to do what's best for you. Like you actually know the answer better, and by me advising on you, I'm going to do you. I'm not going to do you a favor. So if you can, if you can make some money on it and make a return and help penetrate wholesaling, then go for it.
Yeah.
But remember,
I think it just became a question for me because it had to happen when I gave up on it. I was like completely focused on real estate and wholesaling and Airbnb, and it boom.
Can you do both? Is my question. And is your goal to become a wholesaler full time and just use realtor?
My goal is to be an investor, a sophisticated investor. Like I want to get into commercial in realtor. That's why I want to get realtor license, get into commercial, and buy investor properties here.
So there's plenty of investors in the United States that are both. It's not my cup of tea. And if you're starting out today, I wouldn't do it. But being in Canada, if you can make the money back and you can still dedicate to wholesaling, then go ahead and do it. So I got to cut you off, but I got to run.
Yeah.
But make that decision and let me know next week what you come up with. Okay.
We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. Okay. So guys, I just gave you 2 hours of everything you want to know about creative financing, some wholesaling. So do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up, a like, a smile, a heart. Hit that subscribe button. We go live every week. You guys know exactly where we are. You can visit us on YouTube. You guys can hit us at Flip with Rick. My son's got his channel. He offers some additional content on there. Is at Ginn. You also have Rick Ginn. I just opened that back up, and I'm going to kind of do some personal stuff on there too. Just funny stuff. Like I like to have fun. And so guys, hit us up, subscribe to them all. And guys, if you're doing wholesaling, you just promise me to like have fun. Don't be boring. You got to have fun with what you do. And I find some people really struggle with that part. So guys, visit us on YouTube, go to Wholesaling Houses for Real. You guys know where to hit up the course, freewholesaling.com. We are the only wholesalers that offer 100% training 25 years experience. It's 100% free, and it's not going to change. People can say, Rick, you're going to offer a course, you're going to offer a course. I'm not, guys, dude. I do just fine. I don't need to flip students. I rather flip properties, and I do this because I enjoy it. Nothing forces me to be here other than me trying to serve you and helping you guys out. Guys, go out and take action. Remember, the only difference between you, me, Zach, Corey, any of these people on there is they get the courage to actually take the action. Guys, I have all the tools you need. Go to freewholesaling.com. I'll show you how to do this business. I will see you in the next live. You guys have a phenomenal weekend. Go out there and get a deal. Take that courage. Take that action. I'll see you in the next broadcast.